Welcome, everybody, to the Unwavering Stance podcast episode number 11. Like Stranger Things. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Today we're going to talk about a lot of shit. It's week 3 now in Lake of Kalandra League. I'm your host, Stark4machines, joined by DadBodGamingGod to my right, and Deedledo to my southeast on the bottom there. Week 3. How's everybody's week 3 going? What have you noticed that's different in week 3 than week 1 and 2?
Lost my marble.
I think that's a solid opening to both of our weeks. Deedle, you can go ahead with yours.
I love it.
All right, so my week 3. What was I doing last? All right, so I think we were playing. I was playing. We'll try to get through this quick. I was playing Lightning Strike Champion. Was going fantastic, and I don't know, I hit like mid-90s, and I was running a map. I hit an expedition, and I ran into a mob that had Consecrator and had regen from the expedition, and I just went like Space Pilot 606 and just stopped paying attention and moving, and he slammed me, and I died.
What the fuck is Consecrator? Is that a new arch nemesis thing?
That's Consecrated Ground.
Yeah, it gives him Consecrated Ground, so he's regenning 6% of his life.
And he's critting the fuck out of you?
Consecrated Ground doesn't give you crit.
Oh, it doesn't?
Consecrated Ground doesn't affect you at all.
Not anymore.
Oh, I thought it used to give like extra crit chance toward enemies that were on Consecrated Ground.
It did, but it doesn't anymore.
Changes.
So he was super like tanky, and I was just like sitting there whacking away on him and going boom, 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 and then I was just like, I just spaced out and just stopped moving and just sat there and ate a slam. Something you should never do. Even if you can face tank something, you should still move.
Yeah, but didn't that give you like a really, really, really good clip on GFL?
It's a rip clip.
I think he edited it to like put a loud
like a
sound on
effect.
on the slam. It's pretty good.
So yeah, I mean that's cool. I mean all of my rip clips so far this league, except for the one I'm about to tell you about now, because it just happened like 2 days ago. So after that, I decided, okay, I have an Ivory Tower, and I've always wanted to do an Ivory Tower build, which is a low life mana stacker, where your chaos damage is taken from your mana before life, so you don't have to run shavs, and then you get a bunch of energy shield for reserved life. So low life, mana stacker, conduit, lightning conduit using Stormbrand, max shock, 65% shock on like everything.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
According to POB, it would be shocking even pinnacle bosses for 65%.
Wow.
With my current gear set, and I had just swapped over to the Ivory Tower, and it was going pretty good, and I ran a Delirious red map at like 83 and started a Violent Ritual, which is the one that like bleeds you, and I didn't have a bleed flask. Yeah, so I got slowed by the Delirium hands. I got lightning exposure put on me, and then I got hit by some explosion that just like took me out.
It's a
cool build though.
For hardcore.
It was a cool build. I mean, low life Ivory Tower was a very ambitious undertaking to try to do in hardcore solo self-found. And had I not like rushed the mapping process and been running like content I probably shouldn't have been running in, at level 83.
Yeah, it's a little low.
But sometimes you're in a hurry to get to that point, right?
Yeah.
Like I was trying to farm a Prism Guardian, so I was running unique delirious maps with the Delia Orb.
I was gonna ask like what all different ways are there in solo self-found to farm a Prism Guardian?
well, there's a divination card for it called Radiant Crusade that
Hmm.
drops in Residence, but it's it's a 3-card set, and Prism Guardian is like a T1 unique, so it basically doesn't drop. So Heist, chancing the base, the Archon, Prism Shield or Spirit Shield, whatever the hell it's called, and yeah, trying to just brute force it with like Delirium unique drops. And
Yeah.
Honestly, the best way to farm uniques now in Soul Self-Found is Blight maps. Because Heist, you only get 1 unique per chest now.
Or Steel Mage's RNG. Gotta get that guy's RNG.
Oh, yeah.
not
Yeah,
this
for
league.
Ah.
He quit softcore trade because he gambled on one of the new divination cards to give you a double corrupted mage blood, and he got a 2 flask mage blood, which is worst possible outcome.
Oof.
When he sold that, he got an apothecary, which he then gambled and lost. So he basically lost everything.
Love you, Steel Mage.
Quit Steel and quit SC. He's playing hardcore to solo Self-Found again.
Well, that's good.
Nice.
That's so that's a
Where
great.
he belongs.
That's such a good segue into.
DadBot telling us how his week went. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is. It's good. Well, I thought it was gonna be. Yeah.
I mean, you can go.
No, I'm not gonna go.
Or Stark, either one. Yeah.
I mean, my week is trash. No one wants to hear about it.
We all want to
Alright.
hear about Stark.
No.
We just normally go in a particular order, so I figured.
Yeah.
You're usually last because you're the host.
You're the host,
You're the
right.
main.
Have you
Look,
have you had any problems you've been adapted to, DadBot, in your week 3?
Look. I have probably leveled more characters than both of you combined at this point.
That's
in this
true.
league.
I would agree with that.
Because I have leveled and died more. I probably actually died more than your softcore character has at this point as well.
I want to check.
I doubt that.
I'm not having a good time.
Should we check?
I don't. Well, I'm up to 9 now, so
In hardcore
last
solo
week,
Self-Found.
yeah. So last week I
Week
talked about
3. Yeah, that's quite a bit.
I'm killing 3 characters a week. It's on average.
I'm pretty far behind where I normally am too. I was talking about it on stream earlier. Like, I usually have all my void stones by now. I only have 1. Like, this league has definitely been like
Brutal.
like a pain champ freaking league.
Getting gear is hard.
Yeah,
That's true. It's much harder to get gear this league than last league. That's very true.
But last podcast I talked about wanting to build a trickster, and I was kind of wanting to just pull a Deedle and just play Blade Vortex trickster. And I was like, you know what? I'm just not feeling it. I don't want to be up in people's grills trying to Blade Vortex them. I'd rather do it from a distance. So I was like, you know what? The Soul Rend got buffed. Let's try Soul Rend.
Yeah, trickster. Yeah.
So Soul Rend trickster with Eldritch Battery and Mind Over Matter. So essentially, all of my mana reserved. I was still doing the what's the thing with the evasion energy shield stuff?
Oh, Ghost Dance.
Ghost Dances. So Ghost Dance with Mom. EB is pretty good. Trickster. It felt pretty decent.
Okay.
The single target was shit. The single target was
on
doo-doo.
Soul Rend, yeah.
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 I mean, I was doing
it always
Soul
has
Rend, Soul Rend, Bane, and Volblight,
Yeah.
and I was still having issues with really dealing any damage to the single target.
you gotta stop to like slower prod.
Yeah, I was
Take
gonna
off
say,
EMP.
like,
you gotta do a bunch of like
Yeah.
jumping through hoops.
in terms of Chaos Dot, what has good single target of any Chaos Dot
Essence
skill?
Drain.
That's it. It's the only
Yeah.
one.
Seismic poison.
I mean, Volblight with
yeah, but that's not Chaos Dot.
Yeah.
That's cheating. That's converting something to Chaos Dot.
So Vol Blight with
So
supports
you mean
is
like
actually okay,
only?
but
So only the chaos dot actual skills.
Yeah, on the tags, chaos
Bane,
damage over
apparently
time.
Bane built like with like softcore trade budget and actually buying gear is apparently pretty good.
I league started that in Sentinel League, Bane, and just I probably did not want to spend the budget on a league starter Bane, and the single target was like a 3.5 out of 10. Not spending a super high budget.
Subtractum has a video on his YouTube about like his Bane build, and
he makes good
like,
videos.
I never played it myself, except for like trying to like automate like more than one curse and not having to press like a million buttons.
Yeah.
But from what I've seen on his video and like what he did, it seemed like it was handling
I have to watch that because Subtractum definitely makes great videos on YouTube. He's one of my favorite YouTube creators.
He's a good content creator all around.
Right.
He's got good attitude.
Yep.
He makes good content.
Yep.
Agreed.
So I'm not sure how my Soul Rune died. I don't actually remember because it's been about a week since
Do you have a clip?
died. No, I haven't been streaming very often. I did stream earlier this week, and I was like, I wasn't feeling too good afterwards. It's just getting into it again is the difficult part because my internet was so shit for an entire league last week. So
I wonder if you're able to do that NVIDIA like flashback stuff. Are you able to do that?
I don't have NVIDIA.
Does
So probably
AMD
not.
have a comparative
shadow
play thing? Does AMD have one?
I don't think
I don't know. I don't think so.
What
Anyway,
so
champion.
Okay.
And this is the one that really gets my goat. So I was like, all right, Soul Rune dies. What's my next build? And I was like, went through like I spent an entire day just going through various build ideas, revisiting certain things. I ran like a replica blueprint, ran like a gem blueprint. I'm like, okay, I got some weird stuff in here. Screw it, fuck it. Can't find anything that I want to play. I'm just going to play something that I'm used to playing, which is War Chief Totems champion.
Got it.
With Impale.
Yeah.
So
defensive.
rolled that.
Great.
Yes, super defensive.
Yeah.
You got the Fortify. You've got the Taunt. You have the reduced damage taken if you've taunted recently. It's a extremely good build as far as defensively.
Yes.
I was on a really bad axe. It was only like 400 DPS. And it was only a 4-link, and I was still clearing. I was in tier 10 maps, and I felt reasonable because a lot of people don't realize this, that even if you have the keystone that lets you have 2 totems and says you don't deal damage,
Ancestral Bond.
you can still Ancestral Bond. You can still use Call of Steel to deal AoE damage with impales.
Oh, interesting.
Right, because you're just pulling the impales that are already there. You're not dealing.
However,
damage.
It does count as your kills when you kill things. So things like Blood Rage gives you frenzy charges.
Nice.
And you can take Hatchet Mastery to get Onslaught on kill.
Nice
with
tricks
it as well.
Nice.
So
chips.
it actually felt really, really good. And I was like, okay, this is going to be an actual like in-game build. Like, I'm excited. So I was like, all right, let's get some map progression going. So I was like rolling through unique maps. I did a Malkoon. Everything's good. Oh, actually, no, not everything's good. Malkoon fucking crashes on the last Fairgraves.
The internet crash or the game crash?
No, the instance crashed for the map. I couldn't go back in.
I
So
hate that shit.
yeah, it's the only time it's happened to me ever.
So
to where I lost an actual map.
No,
the portals were still there, but when you try to go in, it would drop out.
Yep.
It wouldn't even eat the portal. The portal stayed there, and you could try it again, and it would just it would time out and say no instance here. So I was like, okay, whatever. I was like, okay, well, let's re-roll and try to get another Malkoon. and I re-rolled it, and I was like, okay, this is a yellow coward's trial.
Oh
This
boy.
is fine. I need this for progression.
Oh boy.
So I start it, and one of the first things I notice is I put down my totems in the corner, and I'm hiding behind a wall, because that's kind of how the totem player plays. Is right off the bat, they start smacking the ground, and I start seeing the little tethers going off to the off screen that denotes that there is a soul eater somewhere over there.
No.
And I'm like, oh fuck, let me go over here and start killing it.
No,
So I go over there, put down all my totems, including my
no.
Vol Ancestral War Chief,
Oh.
and it's smacking it. However, because everything's so AoE, Coward's Trial's just constantly spawning mobs on top of the motherfucker.
Of course it is.
And I can't actually out damage the health that's gaining. So it actually, by the end of it probably had somewhere around 70 stacks of Soul Eater, and it was one-shotting every totem I put down.
Oh god.
And I was safe because I was behind a wall, so I'm trying to like snipe it around the wall because I'm like dealing damage in small chunks because I've already killed everything else at this point. And
Did you
suddenly
log out?
it just I did log once because I didn't know where it was and I didn't want to get shot. Well, apparently I logged back in, get back in there, set up my totems. It one hits the totems and just like leap slams onto me and just pops me.
Yeah, because it's got 70 stacks of Soul Eater attack speed. Yep.
I didn't even realize that it was the mob type that could leap slam. I'm like,
Jesus
okay, I'll just
Christ.
keep it over there and I'll be fine. So I died to a 70 stack Soul Eater.
To a Soul Eater.
And it was miserable.
I mean,
it didn't matter how much defenses I had. It was going to kill me. Soul Eater does not need to be in the game.
Here's the thing about Soul Eater. Soul Eater is when you have a full house, aces over kings or whatever the fuck, and the person you are going heads up against has fucking quads.
Yeah, but so in normal circumstances, Soul Eater, I mean, in some cases, Coward's Trial, maybe Harvest, where it's like super surrounded by mobs, it does seem very unfair. But in most 98.93% of the game, I'd say you just deal with him, right? Like you don't even realize it because you
but
just
the fact
kill
that
him
there's
before he has 70 stacks.
But the fact that there's these mob types that have mods that don't work well in certain mechanics. Look at things. Soul Eater in Blight maps. Soul Eater in Delve. What was it? Empowered minions in Delve.
Assassin in Blight maps.
Assassin. There's so many things that just don't work well with each other.
One shot
and it's not even just an arch nemesis thing, because obviously Soul Eater was a thing before when it was just nemesis. I just don't understand why these things still exist. Like let's look back at things like Bloodlines, where we had Necrovigil and Phylacteral Link. It took a long time for them to realize it, but they're like, yeah, this probably shouldn't be in the game. This is not something we want.
I mean,
nobody
we have
wanted it.
Auras.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Whole packs would have reflect.
Yep. And we had volatiles that just disabled melee for I don't know how many years. How many years do we have?
Exploded on your face. Yeah, I don't know.
And I would always play ranged and just laugh at the volatiles and laugh at people dying to them in hardcore, because it'd be like, well, just play fucking ranged. Just play ranged, guys. Just it's path of projectiles. Just play ranged.
You're just banging on a mob, and then all of a sudden you're like, bam! Oh shit!
Exploded! I blew up. Yeah, I got fire all over me because I'm melee, and GGG just wants to fuck the archetype of melee into the ground.
Yep. Well, I decided to reroll once again my mana stacking Stormbrand build. I'm going to make that motherfucker work. 100%. I'm going to take that to end game. I'm not going to do
DadBod.
I'm not doing any. I'm just going to collect lakes. I'm not running them because at this point, lakes just aren't worth running, especially in hardcore. They're just not worth it. They're too dangerous to do anything.
I don't know.
They're-
Lakes are all right now.
No, we got some unwavering
I just don't
stances.
feel it. I just don't feel like they're worth like
You get some decent currency and like some uniques and I mean, I
So
think
the
they're
time-
the time that takes to like all right comparatively from like as a league mechanic from like okay let's compare like Sentinel, which is very unfair, or even Arch Nemesis or any league mechanic, the time that it takes you to build and actually compile it, like 6 maps or so, I don't think it's 6 maps worth of loot, but you're getting like an extra piece of content every so often that drops, you know, I'm coming out with, you know, 12 to 20 chaos, maybe a divine and exalt, some fracture bases. Like it's not totally terrible. Is it the best league mechanic ever? No, it's definitely not, but it's definitely gotten some improvements and is, I'd say, is worth running, especially in SSF.
DadBod.
So I've recently completely redone my Atlas tree, and I went over to the left side for the first time in a very long time.
Left side? What is that?
That is where blight stuff is.
Oh boy.
Left side? I didn't even know there was a left side of the Atlas tree.
Yeah,
Blowing my mind, dude.
You know where the right side is? It's the opposite.
That's where
What?
the Deedle.
No way, dude.
The best node is on the left side of the Atlas tree. It's that Searing Exarch node that gives them like double damage for.
Muted. Muted. Can't hear you. Can't hear you.
It's the best
So-
node to take in hardcore solo stuff out.
So I'm trying to get way more blighted maps at this point because I just feel like blight and blight maps are way better use of time.
Do you
for me
remember
than lakes.
blighted maps in Blight? No, you don't, because they didn't drop.
Yeah, and now there's an atlas that says you get well, is it 80% more chance of a blighted map per blight, and then you also get a 20% chance that if your map has a blight on it, there's a second blight somewhere else on it. So
Wait, that's a thing?
yeah, that's one of the nodes is if Sister Cassie is in a map, there's a 20% chance that she's also somewhere else in the map.
Oh, interesting.
So you can have up to 2 blights per map, and I don't know if blights on the map device. I
Oh
don't
yeah,
think it
20%
is.
chance to contain an additional blight encounter. That's cool.
Yep. And if you have an
I never go to
80%
the
more,
left side. I
yeah,
don't even look.
And-
Everything I like is on the right. Expedition, Harvest, Legion,
Mm-hmm.
Eater. I go
But
to the top side for
Not-
bossing stuff.
Not Exarch?
I just can't get any uniques in any
will
of the mechanics.
blast
So
Through
yeah,
Discord.
blight maps I'm trying to farm uniques with. Honestly, I still haven't gotten 1,000 ribbons. I've even
neither.
I have tried to. I have fully geared a character in pure magic find,
I
including
had
like
20,000 last league. I ain't gotten a single one.
Wonder. I'm using Wonder Trap, the 100% increased
Oh, yeah.
rarity if you're on low life.
Oh
I
yeah.
have
And I'm-
three Eye of Innocences though.
I dropped an Eye of Innocence too. So I'm trying to kill Fire Fury on Coast over and over and over again just to see how it felt. I'm dropping
life?
one. Yeah, well, I mean, I'm a level like 60 something character. So, and that brings up a thing a lot of people don't realize. Rarity is not affected by level stuff. So you can still drop uniques and stuff from low level creatures. It's just currency and div cards that gets affected by the penalty. But the thing is, I'm wearing like 250% of Magic Find gear, and I'm just not getting anything out of really any low level uniques. I was just trying to like, oh, maybe I can get something like this, and no, I just can't get anything. I've gotten 2 tabulas, but
It's good.
that's about it.
Hey, that's divines. I forgot to mention.
No, it's
that,
not.
I forgot to mention that I re.
Those are not divines.
I mean, 20. Didn't I say? I said divines. I mean fuses.
Yeah.
Yeah, 20 fusing,
I
that's
said
hard
20.
to come by.
I said 20. Did I say 20 divines? I meant to say 20 fusings, not 20 divines.
No, you just said, hey, that's divines.
Oh,
Yep.
I meant to say fusing. I'm tired, okay? And I forgot to mention what I re-rolled. I re-rolled another trickster. This
good.
time Bladefall Blade Blast. Basically the same build type as my BV, but slotted in BFBB. And he's like 81-ish now, and he's doing pretty good. I need some more cast speed for the blade fall, but I ran my Uber lab, so I'm fully ascended, and you know, we're just trying to level an XP. It seems like this will be pretty good. So
So what about you, Stark?
What about me? I tell you what.
boy, I'll tell you what.
Boy, I tell you what. The thing
I'm offended by both of you.
The thing I'm doing that is the most fun for me this league is I'm really focusing on those searing Exarch balls. I don't know if anyone heard our cast last Sunday, but you know, I love using. No, I'm kidding. No one's laughing. I'm just pissing people off. I'm sorry.
I don't even know the joke you're trying to make. You're just saying balls.
Yeah.
He just said Exarch balls.
You know, I
said something about something, and then
I
too much caffeine.
Too much. I've had 160 milligrams of caffeine. Literally, the only thing I can think about is Exarch balls. So, so
I think you're
have
just
you
horny.
fought Exarch? You haven't even fought him.
yeah. Well.
Well,
I haven't fought him alone.
Okay, yeah, sure.
I've fought him with other people that.
So what you're saying is you bought a carry to get your voice tone.
I mean, why do you put it like that? It sounds
Because that's what you did.
That it is the truth. It's accurate.
That sounds so like. I used Frostwall with the balls, and you know, I did my part.
And then you died and you stayed dead, right?
I mean, there were a lot of different fights. So, one of the fights, did I die and stay dead? Maybe. What have I been up to? Oh, what did I even say the last cast? I don't remember.
You were doing popcorn
SRS and
you
hardcore
were
slow
doing, and you were doing Pathfinder.
Poison.
Pathfinder Scourge Poison still there. It's level 92. I need to work on it. I rolled Popcorn SRS and Softcore Trade and said, hey, how can we just buy all the gear and just be stupid broken OP with it? Because it levels like a dream. With no gear, that thing levels like a dream.
Are you in endgame yet, though? How is it in endgame?
Just got to maps. Starting to craft. Starting to get rid of my Les Hoop Deals because Softcore Trade loves those.
I love those. What are you talking about?
Do you get
level with Les Hoops? Oh, yeah. I have like 4 of them.
Do you choose only choose the ones with 30% all resistance? And
I divined mine.
We don't.
Oh,
I divined my Les
This
Hoops
league?
chat. Yep.
Jesus.
Burn this man.
I can't. I don't have a comeback to divining a Les Hoop deal. I can't say anything to that.
You deleted a fucking divine like day 1. What are you talking about?
Yeah, but that's because that's funny.
Well, at least I'm getting some use out of my divine.
Yeah, that's true.
Here, I'm gonna message you a helmet, and you tell me if you would use it on your SRS. You keep talking.
In order for me to do that, I would have to put PoE over your 2 cameras for the podcast. So I don't know if I would do that right now.
You did it last time.
Did I do it live?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Do it live! Fuck it!
Fuck it, do it live.
Fuck it, do it live!
It fucking thing sucks.
So what am I doing? I feel like the Popcorn SRS is gonna be my stupid broken OP softcore trade moneymaker.
So here's what I heard about Popcorn SRS. It's
What'd
good
you
while
hear?
leveling, and it's good early maps, but it falls off towards end, and you need to transition to melee SRS. And
Really?
like, through endgame. That's what I heard. I haven't rolled it, but that's what I gather.
So the percent minion life explosions is just not enough for T16s. Is that what you're telling me?
What I'm hearing, I don't know.
Huh.
For the T16, like the actual mapping part is fine. I think it's the bossing.
The boss thing, that makes sense because you have to be dipping and dodging, and you can't keep casting shit.
Well, I
That's
wouldn't.
probably...
I wouldn't use Popcorn SRS for like farming Eater, or farming Exarch, or farming Uber Elder, or any of that. I would use Popcorn SRS for just running through T16s and, you know, the dumb bosses in T16s, like fucking Atoll or whatever. I could do that.
Yeah.
But in terms of moneymaker, softcore trade, I've never been the one to farm bosses. I would farm bosses hardcore trade and do carries that way.
I would do.
I think Lily does that. Since our
And that.
podcast seems to be all about DS Lily recently.
She wasn't brought up on the podcast.
DadBod.
I mentioned it before we started.
Oh, fuck. Well, you know what? DS Lily, this goes out to you. Whenever you want to be a special guest on the Unwavering Stance, Stark me. We can have dinner streams. I would love to have you, DS Lily. We would all love to have you.
Cringe.
We'd all love to have you. We would,
This is getting weird.
She knows all about the dinner streams. We go way back. I'd
You're
love
gonna have some pilk.
I don't
You're
even
like
know what the hell
getting
pilk
creepy.
is. All right, all right.
She's like
Milk and
outside
Pepsi.
of her house and like
No.
stalked her while she was eating dinner.
No. There was a point in time where she,
there was a time that
no, there was a point in time where she was Discord PMing me about where she was moving, and I was trying to help set her up with some of my friends that lived in Florida or something, but she ended up getting a better place West Coast, so that was good.
Anyway.
That's a pretty big difference. Do I do it in Florida or California?
I think
Like,
she
that's
was
a
in
pretty
a
big difference.
Nah, I think it was Washington, but she was in a bind in Florida, I think, and I was trying to help her because I had friends in Florida. It was a long time ago.
You have a friend in Alabama, and you didn't say shit to
I do have a friend. Do you want to shack up with my friend in Alabama, DadBod? You want to do that?
me. I live in a house. They can shack up with me. I'm looking for roommates.
That might work, actually. All right, I'll talk to him after stream. So what have I been doing? I've been leveling way too much, and honest to God, I've been streaming less and studying my lyric writing book so much more, because with the Divine Power song that the Stark and crew released back in, what was it, 2019 or 2020, whenever they had like one of their first talent competitions, and we placed pretty high up with that song, the main note I got was the lyrics were weak. The lyrics were the weakest part of the song. So
You got a T-shirt for that, right?
I won something. Honest to God,
How do I remember that and you don't?
because the thing I got the most out of it was Chris Wilson really liking the song, and I don't want to say too much after that because that's surprise shit. So
Stark is the music editor for PoE2 confirmed. Got it.
well,
He's gonna be playing live at ExileCon, and he's
For-
gonna fly us out for a live version of Unwavering Stance.
He's cosplaying as Sister Cassia
Yeah.
and playing that song.
so
That's awesome. You heard it here
so
first.
so yeah, I've just been reading a lot of lyric writing books. I've been watching a lot of Noodle's lore about Izaro. She's got 2 separate videos about the history of Izaro, the history of the labyrinth, the fucking fact that Chittus and Perandus fucking cheated
Kitus?
at the labyrinth. Oh, is it pronounced Kitus?
Yeah.
They had like
Okay.
like supply packages placed throughout when it was built, right?
I have to listen to the videos again. I just know that Perandus and Kitus teamed up to fucking cheat the labyrinth so that they could
So they would become the emperor.
so that Kitus could be the emperor and Perandus was
Yeah,
like the money guy funding him.
They had supply chests like scattered throughout that only he would know. But that's why you have like dark shrines and secret paths and stuff in the labyrinth.
Yeah.
And they were put there by this guy that runs PoE Lab.
Yep. There you go, DadBot. I gave you a thing.
Suit size small.
Yeah, Suicide Small.
He put 'em there.
Yeah, they're cosplaying as the Izaro Guardian chick.
Nice.
So for anyone that are fans of Norma Jean and what Norma Jean does, and I'm talking about Norma Jean like Southern rock metal Norma Jean, albums like Oh God the Aftermath, albums like Redeemer, albums like The Anti-Mother. For anyone that's fans of that specific genre, you're gonna really enjoy this Izaro song. It's gonna be titled Izaro parentheses This Throne unparentheses, and that's what I've been working on.
I'd have the parentheses.
Yeah, I really hope there's some like lyric or some stanza or some bridge that just mentions that he's impotent. That's all I want. Because that is actually true. That is canon. That he just cannot have children.
The reason for the labyrinth is for him to choose a successor because he cannot have children, I believe. Yes. Okay.
Something like he's climbing up the ranks, but it won't help him when he's firing blanks. Just put that in the song and it's fire.
Okay.
Wow.
So it's going to be a brutal metal screaming song, and I'm going to scream, he's climbing up the ranks, but he's shooting blanks. Okay, got it.
You're the one who
Boom.
figured this out.
Okay. All right.
Yep.
All right. We can do that.
All right. We expect the mailbox check.
I want 5% royalties.
Royalties. Yeah.
5%.
I'll contact the label. I'll contact the management. We'll put you on the ASCAP and BMI. No problem.
Okay.
Sweet.
Cool.
Sweet.
What else we got for this super short podcast?
So we got 3.19.1 dropped earlier this week. That was I think it was Wednesday. Had some interesting quality of life things in it. Things such as Harvest Life Force now shows up in the horticulture station. I don't have the actual patch notes pulled up. I'm trying to remember just from memory because there were some other things as well. Oh yeah, the biggest one, I think, Deedle and I talked about this last night. Marks now go away that are put on you if you go a certain amount of distance away. So if you leave that one random magic mob that has Deadeye on you, you don't permanently have a projectile or S mark. Whatever it is.
Weakness.
Yeah, fuck you.
Nice.
It hasn't been in the game for years.
Hey, look, I'm just going to use my trying to think of like an old gym. I got nothing. Anyway, the fact that those now dissipate with distance is a huge thing. That way you don't have to worry about constantly being in danger. You don't have to go backtrack to find that one mob. Any of that. You remember any of the other big changes that came with 3.19.1?
They lowered the damage dealt to minions by League monster skills and in-game map boss skills that felt punishing.
Look at that.
Shaper's Beam and Slam, Tall, Barrage,
Look at that.
Cirrus's Beam, and a bunch of other stuff. So,
What we were talking about earlier.
so minions should be a bit more survivable in those in-game situations. I can't speak on the validity of how they are because I haven't played minions, but I mean, from what I understand, it was a really big issue with keeping minions alive. Heralding minions no longer spawns in Delve. I'm not a huge delver, but I know heralding minions is cancer, and I can imagine in Delve when it just follows you around is just a nightmare.
So that's something I'll keep in mind for next cast. I'll get my minion build to end game and see how it feels during Shaper, see how it feels during my absolute favorite Exarch balls, see how it feels during that. Yeah. So I'll keep that in mind.
Also, tainted orbs, tainted fusings, jewelers, and
more
mythic
drops.
orbs were buffed. And apparently they went from about 12% to 35%, from what I've seen on some people running tests. So
There was a guy. There's a guy on Reddit that posted a video where he used 100 tainted fusings and got 6 links out of them.
Yeah,
so
dude did like
that's not bad.
Dude did like 301 and had, I don't remember how many, but they seem to be a bit better. Not quite as good as actual Scourge, because I'm pretty sure if I remember correctly they were 50% then. But you know, 35 still worth throwing a couple. I tried to use one today on a corrupted 5 link I had and it didn't go, but that's just one, and I
may be misremembering, but the Scourge device, didn't it have something that made your tainted currency have a higher success rate?
No, what it was you had a chance, it was like a 5 or 10% chance that when it put a modifier on it, that it added a link inside of it. It didn't do anything to the tainted currency, but the item that you had in, if you had specialized in that thing, which you did because eventually you just had everything on that tree, you had like a 10% chance. So it was a good chance that if you put a 5 socket or a 5 link 6 socket in there, that you would get a 6 link out of it. And I got many 6 links out of that. So that was a good change, I suppose. But then Beyond is also rippy as hell, and that was another change. 3.19.1 was the Beyond boss's life has been lowered by 5%, so that's cool, right? But the other Beyond monster life was lowered by 60%. Now, when I hear that number, the first thing I think is 60% is a big number. How did they come up with the number that their base life was before the nerf? Like, how did they come up with that number? And how did it make it in? I feel like I've said that about a lot of things this league. Like, how did it make it into live? Like, how do you get to a point where you need to nerf the monster's life by 60%? Like, did you just reach into a hat full of numbers and pull out a freaking piece of paper with some numbers and be like, 40 million, that looks good? But
well, I mean, they probably used old Beyond as a measure, because old Beyond mobs are fucking tanky as hell.
But the new Beyond are way tankier than these Beyond bosses. I'm not talking about the bosses. I'm talking about
I'm talking about the regular mobs.
Regular monsters.
Like, so the base type of the monster has a base HP, but the mechanic of Beyond gives them a life bonus. So the base HP of the mobs from Scourge are probably way higher than the base HP of the mobs from Beyond. Because you remember the regular Beyond mobs were things like the fucking eyeballs and like miscreations, stuff like that, which inherently have low base HP, but the base HP of the Scourge mobs are already high. So when you have those life multipliers from the actual mechanic, and you just change the base HP, that HP goes through the roof. So they probably just lowered the mechanic multiplier.
I mean, maybe that could be a thing, but I can't read it because of the
Just said we got a couple minutes left, so we need to go ahead and get through the private leagues and such like that. And I think that's gonna be all you.
So a lot of the changes, I feel there were some like quality of life stuff, but no real like super impactful things unless you're playing minions or like spamming beyond, I suppose. So yeah. What do we
let's you know what with private leagues, are there any coming up quickly? Because if not, we could save that for next week.
I don't think so, not that I know of. No.
We could say
those usually wait until like the second or third month.
Yeah,
usually they mostly come after Gauntlet. I assume that some will probably happen around the time that we normally have Gauntlet.
Yeah.
Some hit before, like BPL, and BPL is usually before Gauntlet, but not too far before. And then Brittle Knees Bingo League is usually right around the same time as Gauntlet. So,
Rest in peace, Gauntlet.
Yeah, pretty sad about not running Gauntlet.
I mean, it's only for one league. It's going away.
It's gone forever. We're never seeing it again.
It's never, but it's something
really?
to like break up.
No, I'm kidding.
He's kidding.
Oh, okay.
It's something to like break up the monotony of that part of the league. And like,
it's such a great private league. It's wonderfully done.
It's already getting to a point where like I still have things I want to like accomplish. Don't get me wrong, but I'm already looking at like we're in week 3. We still have like 70 more days, right?
Yep.
Of this league before we get to see 320. And it's like, damn, like, I know I have stuff to do unless I, knock on wood, unless I rip like 10 times in the next, not too long, then. Or
27 times for me.
27. I should be able to knock out some stuff, in the next couple weeks, and then it's like, well, what do we do next? So we'll have to figure out, maybe we come up with a private league. We were talking about it before last time of like maybe doing something, so we'll have to figure that out. What do you think, huh? What's your stance on it?
Lily? Yeah, I don't know what Lily thinks.
Bork.
Yeah? You think
she says Ruin Hellions is best Spectre.
Yeah, she says, yeah, they're the best. They're my doggo friends.
I had to teach Rise how the Ruins Hellions Spectres worked, which is really weird. So he plays minions way more than I do. And then he just didn't believe me that's what they do. And I'm like, look it up on PoEDB.
I don't think it's on the wiki or the DB anymore.
It is. Yeah, it's a 30% taunt. The only thing about the Ruins Hellions is that the in-game tooltip is wrong in that it does not give mana regen anymore because it uses the old rallying cry information.
Yeah.
Which has been out of the game for what, 5 years?
No. Rallying cry.
Old rallying cry? 4?
No,
it's been at least 4.
You're thinking of Abyssal Cry. Rallying Cry has not been that long.
I don't know. It's been a couple years.
Maybe a couple, but not 4. Here,
but regardless, it uses the old information, and it doesn't use the new one. But yeah, if you don't know, Ruins Hellion is a little bit of a fragile specter, but it does a war cry every 8 seconds. That lasts for 8 seconds and gives 30% less damage taken from anybody other than the Ruins Hellion. So if it runs up and taunts a boss, that boss now deals 30% less damage to you.
You hear me? 311.
Yeah. Yeah, that's like 5 years ago.
2020.
5 years ago, exactly.
God damn it, DadBod. Not your
I'm
Alabama
from the future.
math.
I'm from
Alabama math.
Fuck
you. What DadBod?
All right, so it does feel like 5 years ago.
Who has
311
the worst?
feels like 5 years ago. I'll give you that.
Who has the worst education funding in the United States, DadBod? Because I know
Mississippi.
So Mississippi's 50th, Florida's 48th, is Alabama 49th?
Yes.
Ah, got it.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, that's true.
Alabama math.
Alabama does have some terrible,
Terrible
education
math.
systems.
All right. All
They
right.
got
All
good
right.
football teams, though, don't they?
They got
So here's the
great
thing.
football teams.
Here's the thing. You
They got
technically
great football teams.
you technically said something false. You said
Uh-oh.
Mississippi is 50th. Mississippi is not 50th. They are the worst, but they're not 50th. They're 51st. They're behind Puerto Rico.
Oh.
Puerto Rico has a better education system than Mississippi does.
Yikes. I didn't even know there was 51. My bad.
Well, it's not a state, but it's a
Yeah,
it's
well,
a,
it counts, I guess.
it's a territory.
Yeah. All right. Any last PoE comments, concerns? We're not going to listen to complaints. So, comments?
Fuck Soul Eater.
Yeah, we had to run a kind of a short cast because
Yeah.
Stark has some things to do, and we kind of shifted up a little bit. We'll have to figure out. We're gonna have a group talk and try to nail down an exact.
Nail down a schedule for Sunday. Sunday's
don't
nail
mind.
down a time.
I don't mind like the time we started today, but that's on
That could
DadBod
be.
now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this
but-
is fine for me.
This
This
is fine?
isn't too early.
Okay,
All right.
so this feels like a really good time. What I'll do is my vocal lessons were like a one-time thing on Sunday. I just wanted to get them started soon, so I won't have them on Sunday. I'll just have them during the week, and that'll be fine. Okay, we can do that.
So it was a little rushed. We didn't get to exactly touch on all of the topics we wanted to. We wanted to kind of have like a kind of in-depth talk about the player base adapting to and overcoming issues and problems and persevering instead of just complaining and bowing out, and how each of us kind of deals with like separate kind of issues and maybe an issue or two that we have had in the past. Like I know Stark, like 315 was really big for him, and he said
Yeah.
3.0. For me, this league has been kind of like 315 to me wasn't that bad, but this league, like it seems like it seems worse to me. So we wanted to kind of go over like how to like persevere, and instead of just constantly complaining, woe is me, the game is trash, like kind of take a look and see what the problems are, break down the problems and come up with solutions. But we didn't really get into that because we ran short on time, because I feel like it would be a really good eye-opener for not only newer players like that might be struggling as well, but also for veterans and older players to kind of relate in a way and get some interaction going on. So maybe we'll still try to get to that next podcast. I think it'll be a kind of a good thing.
I can definitely allot 2 hours for next week, next podcast, same bat time, same bat channel. We can do 2 hours allotted, even 3 if we absolutely need it.
We won't need 3.
I don't
Yeah.
think we need 3. 2 I
With-
think
with-
would be more than
With the
enough.
current 1 week setup, we don't need to.
Okay.
We'll be doing good to get 2.
So we can prep for like 15, and then do like an hour and a half show probably, and then do a 15-minute wrap up, and then that should be good.
That
All
sounds
right.
good. So as always, the podcast, if you missed any part of it, will be on my YouTube.
Yep.
Deedledo, DEEDL EDO. I lost.
There you
so
go.
much thought.
Just-
Thank you, DadBod.
Just go to Deedledo's Twitch and do !YouTube and just click the link. It's so
Now
much
it-
easier.
Stance is what you would do.
Stance!
mark,
Stance.
Command stance.
Yeah.
Stamps. It's not stamps.
Well, Deedle's live every single day, so just go in his stream and ask him where the fuck the YouTube is, and he'll just
So-
tell you.
So it'll be up. We'll try to have some timestamps up and go in. And, yeah.
DadBod, you got any content to promote there, DadBod? Anything you're working on?
No, not really. Just trying to get back into the streaming habit, which
Well, I
I'll
can help.
probably be going. I'll probably be going live here in like a couple hours. I
Good.
gotta get some food. Just woke up.
Good. Good.
Nice.
Sounds good.
Check
Get
out
some,
DadBod. Go
Stormbrand
drop him
leveling.
a follow and give him some shit.
And then
Tell him Deedledo sent you.
October 1st is a big day for me. October 1st, releasing 2 original Path of Exile songs. One is about Enki's Archwitch build versus Merveil and that battle. The next song
The other one's called Shooting Blanks.
The other one's called Rising in the Ranks and Shooting Blanks. Izaro Frecius, Impotent Izaro, This Throne.
Honestly, that's not a bad idea for a name.
It rolls off the tongue.
It's not gonna be.
Kitten Cat Noodle would be proud.
Anyway, this has been the Unwavering Stance, episode 11. Thanks for hanging out with these 2
Hi, guys.
fucking jokers.
Thanks for hanging out. Hey, if you got any topics that you guys would like to see discussed,
Shoot 'em
let us
over.
know. Drop them in the comment section on the YouTube. Like, share, subscribe. Talk about it with your friends. We'll see you next week.
Goodbye.
All right, sounds good. Love you guys, and we are out. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye.